Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 up front for 3 months plus taxes and fees. Promo rate for new customers for limited time. Unlimited more than 40 gigabytes per month. Slows full terms at mintmobile.com.
Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
Welcome back to the Jello Jiggling podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Ward. And damn, that one sucked. I don't know if you guys were watching, but the Lakers lost LeBron before the game to flu-like symptoms and then lost Anthony Davis 12 minutes into the game as he got hit in the eye. The same eye, left eye, I believe, again, and was done for the game after that. The Lakers still kept it somewhat competitive. I mean, the Timberwolves always felt like they had it in hand, I mean, especially after a 46-point second quarter. But they were firing back and forth. Rui Hachimura, who has impressed the hell out of me lately, scored 30 points on 11 of 17 shooting, 4 from 5 from deep, perfect from the charity stripe, 4 boards. He has just been a stud, and I am convinced at this point that he plays much better when the games mean a lot more. I mean, it's an 82-game season. It's a long regular season. It's not 165 or 162 or whatever the hell the baseball season is. But it's still friggin' long. It's too long. People have been saying this for a long time. So people can, players can check out. They can, not play to, the maximum of their ability if they're looking down the line, especially with contracts on the line or their role on the team, whether they're starting, coming off the bench or whatever. It can affect motivation. It can affect the way you play on the floor, and it's going to. It's just inevitable. It's unless they're a superstar, like say LeBron or AD, they know that their position is pretty solid. But when you're Rui, who's just signed the biggest contract of his career with the Lakers for 3 years, I believe. I can't remember the number exactly. But lucrative enough to where, they thought he was a valuable piece to the puzzle, and he is. And he's only just gotten better and better with every game in the final stretch here. Like I said, I'm totally impressed with him. And I think he's going to be a very important piece to the playoff puzzle once the Lakers either get in, well, they're getting into the play-in. We need to stop fantasizing about the 6th seed and the NBA playoffs. I think after tonight's loss to Minnesota, it's kind of set in stone that they're going to be one of the 4 teams in the play-in game. We're playing tournament. At this point, it's like, which spot are they going to be? Are they going to be 8? Are they going to be 10? Are they going to be higher up, lower? Like whatever. They got 3 games left. 3 games. And funny enough, 2 of those games are going to be against teams that are in the play-in game. So it's going to impact the seeding, right? So they play Golden State on Tuesday, and then they play Memphis, I believe Friday, and then in Memphis. So Tuesday's game at Crypto is the last regular season home game of the season. And then they go on a 2-game road trip, starting in Memphis on Friday, and then ending with the New Orleans Pelicans in the Big Easy, New Orleans. For those who don't know, the Big Easy is the nickname for New Orleans. And if you haven't been in NOLA, you need to go, especially if you're still young in your 20s. Go have fun. Go take a bunch of buddies. That place is a blast. It's like a dirty Vegas. That's the only way I can describe it, but the culture there, it's just everything about that place is awesome. And every time I've left that place, I've said I'm never going to return because I'm so hungover. But in the end, I can't wait to get back. Just like Vegas, I guess. Just like Vegas. It's just a dingier kind of version with better food. And the scenery is a lot more interesting. It's not just casino, casino, casino. It's like it's its history, its culture. It's beautiful. I love it. I can't wait to go back. Anyway, totally diverted there. But that is going to be the last game of the season. And I cannot believe we're only 3 games away from this being done. I can't. I absolutely love this time of year when players and teams start taking things seriously and they start playing the way they should. And everything's competitive and players step up their games and you start seeing the real deals and you start seeing the fakers. Yeah, I'm calling you out, Dylan Brooks and the Rockets. Yeah, you didn't have enough, did you? Yeah, officially eliminated. Anyway, I respect the Rockets. They play hard defense, a little dirty, but whatever. I respected the Detroit Pistons back in the day too. Anyway, Lakers moving forward. Forgettable loss. I mean, it's they didn't have LeBron. They didn't have AD for more than 12 minutes. Still got 19 points out of Jackson Hayes off the bench, which is insane. The guy had the game of his life. 19 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 steals somehow. 5. I don't know how that happens for a center, but there was some pretty awful passing in this game. So I'm not totally surprised. But I'll say this. Everybody's going to act like the sky's falling, and maybe that's a bad terminology with the eclipse on Monday. And everybody anticipates some crazy stuff happening. But they're fine. They're fine. As long as AD is fine, as long as LeBron doesn't have some crazy illness, and it's just a bug that he gets over in a few days, they're fine. They were killing it before this game. They were killing it. They won 9 out of 10 games. Killing it. With everything kind of like coming into place. I know the competition wasn't great. That doesn't matter. If they're beating the teams they're supposed to beat, they're doing it handedly, then awesome. That's what's supposed to happen. Then that's the thing about the Lakers. Like the majority of the season, I think they just were playing teams that they should be beating, and then they play down to them and either get beat or they barely win. And that's where we're sitting in the play-in tournament in the West. What's crazy is that, I'll pull up the standings here for a second. So give me a second. There's only 2 teams in the East that have clinched playoff spots. Actually, I'm kind of surprised it's not more. But to put it in perspective, okay, the Lakers are currently in 9th place, and they've won 8 out of 10 games with this loss, right? They have the Kings and the Pelicans above them, and then the Suns, Mavericks, Clippers, Thunder, Nuggets, T-Wolves ahead of them in the standings in the actual playoff. Like those teams are the ones that are playoff bound without having to go through the play-in. If you look at the Eastern Conference, the Lakers are sitting at 45 and 34. If they were in the East, they would easily be in the 6th spot right now, which is the Indiana Pacers at 45 and 34. With the Cleveland Cavaliers only one game back of them at 46 and 33 in the 5 spot. You go ahead of that, half game above them, 46-32. 2 teams, 4 and 3. Knicks 4, Orlando Magic 3 at 46 and 32. Talk about a huge difference in conferences. Jesus. I mean, that's like ridiculously different. I mean, Boston is Boston. They're 62 and 16. They're crazy good right now, right? But they've been playing all these crappy teams all season long. So it's no surprise that they are racking up the wins like the way they are. And the best team in the West has what, eight wins less, which is the T-Wolves, and the Nuggets, who are tied at 54-24. Anyway, that was exhausting. Got a good stretch here. You have 3 games. As long as you get back in. And from what somebody reported, I believe it was Dave McMiniman or it might have been Mike Trudell that reported. Hold on for a second. Reported that the AD eye injury. Okay, so I was going to say what Darvin Ham would say, but nobody needs to hear that. Hold on. Can you, please hold. Where the hell is it? Said that the injury is not that bad. Oh, great. Rainbow wheel. Please hold. Just a little elevator music. Out for the rest of the game. I'm going off freaking memory because I can't find the damn thing. I'm pretty sure it was Dave McMiniman, and I just looked through Trudell's tweets. Thank you, Trudell, for not reporting that, even though you report for the team. Okay, found it. Dave McMiniman about an hour ago. There is optimism that Anthony Davis will be able to return to the lineup on Tuesday against Golden State, which will be in LA. Source familiar with the situation told ESPN, which is almost certainly Clutch Sports. Obviously, great news. But I will say this. If you look at the replay, I thought it was Gobert that hit him, but somebody said that it was Ryan Anderson, right? Regardless of who the hell hit him in the face. You look at that replay, he didn't hit him very hard. He tapped him, right? Like, I'm not calling AD soft because I don't think he's soft. After this, before the season, maybe there would be an argument, right? Maybe I'd be like, oh, okay, maybe. But now I say, no, he's a tough kid. But he just got tapped with like the wrist area, the inside wrist area, right, of Gobert or Anderson, whoever it was. And it didn't look like much, but it was enough to send AD to the ground and immediately hold his head. And then when he got up, his eye was already closed, right? Closed just because of irritation, but not because of swelling and all that stuff. But clearly went to the locker room and they determined it was something serious enough to hold him out for the rest of the game. He played 12 minutes of 48. He played one quarter. In a game that if they would have won it, it would have drastically improved their chances of getting a...
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 up front for 3 months plus taxes and fees. Promo rate for new customers for limited time. Unlimited more than 40 gigabytes per month. Slows full terms at mintmobile.com.
Favorable spot in the West. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not bagging on the toughness of AD because I think he's really changed that narrative this season, and it should remain that way, especially if he comes back on Tuesday. But there's something there, man. There's something odd going on with AD's eyes or his left eye or whatever, because this has happened multiple times this year. And I believe it's time to start wearing some goggles or a mask or something, because it just happens once. It's a freak thing. Happens a couple times, happens 3 times. Yeah, there's a problem. And teams, whether you like it or not, are going to kind of hone in on that problem. Keep your hands up, fellas. Go towards the face. Not saying hit him in the face, but if it does happen, it happens. You knock out AD, you see the results. They were a completely different team without AD today, and it was kind of sad to see, actually. They didn't rally and be like, "Oh, our leader on defense is out. LeBron is out. Let's show what we can do." No, they collapsed. Like D'Angelo Russell was nowhere to be found. Austin Reeves, not for the lack of trying, didn't do anything really. Rui was the only one that really stepped up and scored 30 points. The game with the team high 30 points. Nas Reed, on the other hand, oh man, if the Lakers would have signed that guy in the offseason, I honestly think we would be talking, we're having a title contending conversation right now, because that dude is a baller. And I remember I heard in the offseason that they were really going after him hard, and it was a good chance of them signing him. And then what's the first thing that Minnesota does? Number one priority, sign Nas Reed, and they did it. I think it was like the first move in free agency too. Took him off the table, and it kind of made, I think I would assume, made the Lakers pivot. Because they had if they had Nas Reed and the AD goes down, I'm not saying it's apples to apples and they'd be totally fine. They'd be a better all around basketball team. The dude is insane. Scored 31 tonight and had like, I think 6 for 8 from deep, I believe. Double check. Where's he at? 6 for 8, 12 for 16 from the floor, 11 rebounds, 2 steals. I mean, just insane. The guy just took over the game. It's like, Cat Towns who? And he was so good to where you didn't even notice Anthony Edwards out there, who didn't really do all that much. He had a quiet 26 points and 8 assists. 9 for 20, 3 for 8 from deep. He hit some crucial shots down the stretch, but he didn't take over the game like he would normally do, right? I was just impressed, man. That guy, I don't want to say they dropped the ball, because who knows what those discussions were like, but if they had him on the team right now, I'd feel a hell of a lot more confident heading in the playoffs. I mean, also, people will say like, "Oh, well, if he got to LA, all of a sudden he'd stop shooting at that clip," and I was like, yeah, maybe you're right. But for some reason, every time he's in LA, he torches the damn net. Well, if the guy does that, some guy on playback, I was on playback with on our Lakers Nation channel, and somebody said, "Oh, Nasri's definitely got a girl in LA or something." And I was cracking up, and I was like, "Well, yeah, he definitely plays like he's impressing somebody out there." So, whatever the case may be, Lakers lost. Nas Reed got the best of them again, and the Lakers have 3 regular season games left: Golden State, Memphis, and New Orleans. And if they win out, which I think they're more than capable of doing, if they get AD and LeBron back. But if not, or they hit a little cold spell, it's going to get a little rocky. And then you just don't want them to end up in the 10th or the 9th seed, really. So winning out is the best possible scenario. And I think it's a likely one. It's everybody acts like, the sky's falling when these games happen and they lose in this fashion at home. And then all these excuses come up, like D'Lo played like crap and AD's soft and LeBron's even softer, not playing with flu-like symptoms and blah, 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 blah. It don't matter, man. The Lakers they're going to be in the playing game regardless. You got to play 2 games, fine, whatever. They're going to play 1 to get into a 7-game series. So it's going to be, one of those situations regardless. So embrace it, hope for the best, and move forward. So dawning on the crap. The one positive I would take from this game is Rui Hachimura is a stud. at this time of year. And he continues to prove it over and over again. He may not be a monster on the rebounds, or, he may not crash the glass like you'd want him at his size, but he's still an incredibly talented player who can put up 30 points on any given night and hit from deep. Reeves and Russell tonight were pitiful when it came to scoring the basketball. D'Lo ended up with 15 somehow. Which amazes me. And Reeves ended up with 14. But at least with Reeves, I saw a lot of aggression, like going to the basket and like being relentless and, really trying. But Russell went 5 from 19. Blech. When they needed him the most, it felt it. I don't want to go too far with this, but like it did feel like a little reminiscent of the playoffs last year, where he kind of like folded a little bit. But he did have 11 assists and he did have 7 rebounds, which is impressive. It is. I wasn't impressed with his all-around performance, even with that on top, coming 3 rebounds short of a triple-double. But still, he was putting effort in different places, realizing that he couldn't score like he normally does. 1 for 7 from deep is just like, oh, gross. But then Reeves wasn't much better. 2 for 8 from deep and 4 for 14. You can't get games like this out of these guys if you expect to win 7-game series against great teams in the West. And that's what they're facing. They're even facing great teams in the freaking play-in. These are no slouches, right? New Orleans Pelicans are not a bad team. They're 14 games over 500. The Kings have killed the Lakers this year. They beat them 4 out of 4 times. Golden State has the Lakers numbers at times. Whenever they have a healthy Steph Curry out there, it's always a dangerous opponent to face. And then that'll be the case here. So they're going to go through a gauntlet just to get to the damn playoffs, however it shakes out. But I feel bad for them when it does get there, because they've just got more tough competition. People say like, "Oh, we want OKC or we want Minnesota." Like, you saw what happened in Minnesota with Minnesota tonight. Yes, you didn't have AD and LeBron, but it didn't matter. Like, you gotta be deep enough to get through that. Anyway, from a positive standpoint, which I'd like to continue with, 3 games left. Things are going to get really fun from here on out. 3 games. Outside of the Memphis game, hopefully Memphis doesn't show up. Hopefully it's a bunch of bums that they're playing against, and they've already shut it down. But I kind of feel like the Golden State game and the New Orleans games are going to be pretty damn competitive and fun to watch. And that's what it's about. That's why we watch basketball, because we want to watch good basketball. We want to beat good opponents. We don't want to beat just the run-of-the-mill or the crappy teams. So enjoy this. Enjoy this time. This is where it gets fun. Or funner, I guess, if that's even a word. But until then, until next time, probably get back on here after the Golden State game on Tuesday. See you then.
Thank you for listening to Believe. You can show support to your host by subscribing to the show and giving us a 5-star rating on your preferred platform. Check us out at Believe.com and search for BLEAV on YouTube.
When you're listening to a true crime story that has an unbelievable plot twist that makes you stop in your tracks? That's what our podcast, People Are the Worst, brings you with each episode. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Rebecca. We're identical twins who love true crime cases that make you say, didn't see that coming, and we hate the people responsible for them. Listen to People Are the Worst now on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.